Hello and welcome back to the Chasing Poker Greatness YouTube channel. Today's video is another 500 NL play and explain where I play 4 tables of 6 max cash and explain my thought process out loud. The theme of today's video is definitely going for thin value. As you watch today's play and explain, comment down below as to whether you would go for the same value that I go for or if you think I'm just losing my mind. I hope you enjoyed today's play and explain. Alright, so here we go with pocket 5s and the cutoff. Hopefully we get to play against the fish in the big blind. It's open limped a couple of times, hasn't topped off, so pretty confident he's a fish. Queen 9. Gonna be starting out with some sort of c-bet with the entirety of my range versus a fish. Gonna go small this time with a bluff catcher slash some finish value. I think I have a pretty easy check back on the turn now, and then decide on the river whether to bluff catch or not if he makes us. Okay, so now I have to figure out whether I want to value bet or not, and for what size. Definitely think I want to value bet. Half pot, I think gets called by pocket 4s, pocket 3s. We also beat pocket deuces now. Thinking about if there's merit to sizing down even smaller, just going for a third and trying to target all the ace highs. Feels like there are a lot of ace highs, probably more ace highs than the pocket pairs. So actually going to go with the size down and try to get all of those hands to call. Nice. Let's see what he called with here. Ace 3 high. Okay, so hopefully the size down did win us a few extra chips there. So in the bottom left table, kind of jumping into the middle of the pre-flop action here, I have pocket kings in this strange situation where really short stack on the button, min 3 bets me, and then I get cold called by another short stack in the small blind. Thinking about what size is best here. I think what I should do is probably click it back so that the action stays open when the button jams, and if the small blind wants to flat again, then obviously now we just get to run it. Unfortunately, the button doesn't jam and just calls. They're getting weird. Oh, and the small blind overcalls and then 3. All right. I mean, don't think there's much to think about here anymore. We're just gonna put the rest of the money in and try to stack both of these guys. Oh my! Overcalled with aces. And 6s is gonna win the main. Well, that's funny. I guess I'm just glad that we ran our kings into a really short stack. 3 betting ace queen offsuit out of the small blind. We'll fold to a hijack 4-bet if it comes to that, but it doesn't. Get a really good flop. Top pair, top kicker with the nut flush draw. Gonna start out with a small c-bet here. I think we just get called by so many worse hands. All the pocket pairs with the club, all the worst queen X. They also do have a fair number of flushes here, but way less than usual because I have the ace of clubs. I think the majority of the flushes that they have in this spot are going to be nut flushes. Not to say that they don't have, you know, king jack suited, king 10 suited, jack 10 suited, 6 7 7 8 8 9 10 9, those sorts of hands. So they do still have a bunch of flushes, but it's really nice that they don't have like ace 3, ace 4, ace 10, ace jack of clubs. Kind of a decision point here, I think, for the rest of the hand. I think I'm just gonna go for bet jam. This bet I still think gets called by all the queen X's, and then still all the, you know, jacks with a club, 10s with a club, I think still probably call this. I think once I start going bet jam, it does get a little bit thinnish on the river, given that, you know, he is going to have a whole bunch of natural snap calls, but hope he still gets sticky with his queen X on the river. I think in general what I found is that the 500 NL pool on ignition, especially the regs, are tend to be on the stickier side. So just gonna run it here and hope he has king, queen, queen, jack, queen 10. And not a flush, or I guess occasionally he can have a set, although deuces probably is an opening pre-flop. So maybe just pocket fives, nines with a club. That's the type of stuff we run into. Probably doesn't have a flush anymore once he tanks. Oh, fours, no club. Okay, I guess we could run into a set of fours as well. Thought that was going to be a little bit less likely, but yes, I went a little bit too thin there with ace queen. So bottom left table, we get the whale limping the cutoff and an ISO from a reg on the button. Or assume he's a reg, only have two hands on him. Actually just going to flag king queen suited instead of 3-betting to try to keep the cutoff in there and hopefully get him to spaz out. This is a great situation. Hopefully we can get the cutoff to spaz like he did in the earlier hands. Would normally check raise this hand, or a hand this strong on queen queen 8 versus just a reg, but again I think, okay, well, it doesn't happen, but the main goal of this hand was to try to get the cutoff to do something wild like he's shown that he's capable of. Fortunately we don't get that. Now on the river, just have to decide between checking to trap a value bet or a bluff, or just value betting myself. It's kind of close. Like I think Jack 10 and 10-9 will call a value bet, but will also bet themselves. Don't know if they call a check raise. On the flip side, I think checking really benefits from allowing him to, I don't know, do some sort of bluff with 6-7 of clubs or 5-6 of clubs, or maybe something like that. If he decided to 3-bet that hand or c-bet that hand 3 ways, he doesn't know that the cutoff is a total whale, or I guess he probably knows once he open limps the cutoff. Not much to do here, I think, but check raise and hopefully get called by Jack 10, 10-9, pocket jacks, pocket nines that it's going for some thin value. And no luck this time. Top left table, defending 9-7 suited. Really good flop. Could definitely think about check raising this hand versus, well, I mean, you could think about check raising this hand versus any size, but more likely to call versus the big size, and perhaps check raise versus the small size. Not surprised to see him c-bet the large size on a flop texture that's this dynamic. You know, it's nice to have hands that can call down on lots of different runouts, take 2 barrels, and not have to fold. So trying to start with that. Another 3/4 pot size c-bet on the turn. Again, I think the nice thing about not check raising the flop with these hands is that we can check call 2 streets. Don't think I'm supposed to have donks on this river card. So hopefully he can't resist going for some value or some sort of bluff. Oh, doesn't do it. Sad, sad. Bottom left table, same situation as the king queen spot, except this time we have ace queen. Gonna stick with call again and hope to let the cutoff do something crazy. Kind of interesting to note that the button ISO is a little bit larger this time, $30 instead of 25. Wonder if that's gonna prove to be meaningful at all. Again, another really, really good flop. We didn't get a spaz from the cutoff last time. I wonder if we'll be able to finagle one this time. I'm going to start out with just calling again and give the cutoff room to do whatever he wants. Kind of a whatever turn. Queen jack improves. Pocket jacks, I don't know if he c-bets that 3 ways, but when he c-bets small, that could definitely be in his range. I guess those are the two hands that now kind of get there versus us. Wonder if the large ISO size though is also gonna mean that it's more likely weighted towards like aces, kings, ace queen. Not that I'm worried about ace queen obviously, but anyways, can't fold just yet. Four of diamonds. Hoping he doesn't jam this river. Just immediately leaning towards fold here. Couple data points. I mean, his natural bluffs have all gotten there, where like the one natural bluff on the flop gets there. He could obviously still have some value that isn't a flush that still beats us. He also decided not to go bet in the previous hand where I had king queen, or in the earlier hand where I had king queen. So gonna give his bet line a little bit more credit when he actually does ISO large and decide to bet all three streets. Hijack open, fish flat the cutoff. Gonna complete big blind with king jack. Or I guess defend the big blind with king jack. Hijack comes out with about half pot. Interesting turn where we improve, but don't think I improve enough to check raise. Another kind of interesting size, I guess, 60% pot. Obviously not folding. I think we can still potentially beat some value. And now we lose to a lot of stuff. Bad river. Putting up ace-9 suited in the hijack. We got two fish in the blinds, playing very high VPIP, so it's very likely that we'll get to play versus at least one of them. Don't let me down. You can do it. You can do it. Nice. Yeah, I mean, just going for straight value here, starting out with some pretty big sizes and hopefully finding a place to stack the big blind. I wonder what he's thinking about here. He's thinking about, oh, he does donk half pot. Interesting. I mean, obviously a lot of things get there, or some things get there 6, 7, ace deuce, 4, 5, but still think that there's so much pair plus draw and hands that will probably just stack off now. Worse 9x, 6-5, 6-4, that type of stuff. So hopefully we can just stack this guy right now. Unfortunately, he folds. Got deuces and the cutoff. Ugh. Get 3-bet by the short stack, but the good news is we get 3-bet really, really small. I think this is close since I'm making a peony. Just gonna peel the deuces. If he had 3-bet to the normal 11 big blind size or something closer to it, I think deuces would just be a snap. Just wouldn't be able to justify peeling, but he gave me too good of a price. Now we make a flush. Enough 4-bet ace 4 and try to ISO on the other table. Here, just gonna check back deuces with a diamond and evaluate the river. Is it too greedy to go for value here? Can we get called by like ace king? What is his ISOing range that pays off here? Like, does he ever check kings on the flop? Nice, got him. 8-7 of clubs. Beautiful hand on the button, and looks like we have two fish in the blind, so gonna get in there even though the opener is on the shorter side. Given that, I think it's very unlikely we get 3-bet by either of the blinds, and I think both of them are Probably not playing great. Gonna stick out a small flop float here. Obviously, can get called by a lot worse for this price, and it's fine if we just take it down now. We got check raised, really, really small. Definitely a lot of draws that can be check raising this flop. Not too many worse value hands. Don't really see how I have great visibility if I just call here, and definitely do want to realize my equity with a handful of backdoors. Yeah, just gonna stick it in. Hope to run it versus 5-6 or heart or ace-5, ace-3, something like that. And nice. Looks like we caught him bluffing. Thank you for watching today's P&E. If you enjoyed what you saw today, make sure you click the like button and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, as it helps us out a lot and lets us know what type of content you'd like to see in the future. Thanks again for watching today's P&E.
This is Chasing Poker Greatness. John Chai approved. Are you a lone wolf searching for the ultimate pack? The CPG Wolf program is a close-knit brotherhood hell-bent on one thing only: chasing poker greatness. Powered by bleeding-edge wolf strats and led by Coach Brad and his lieutenants, CPG Wolves are systematically prepared for almost any spot they'll encounter on the green felt. If you want to plug into an elite team and have a step-by-step game plan to realize your full poker potential, you can apply at cpgwolves.com. Space is limited, and the pack is only as strong as its weakest member. So only the hungriest, grittiest, and most driven will be accepted into the program. Applications are open at cpgwolves.com.